Hi, this is Angie.
And Jay.
Shut up, they don't want you.
They might.
They don't.
No, this is not Average Swingers Podcast.
We're here about to listen to Casual Swinger with all of you.
As long as you're over 18, that is.
Because these guys are batshit crazy.
And little ones shouldn't hear this kind of shit.
No one should take this crap serious.
Because I know they don't.
But let's sit down, buckle up.
And form some damn opinions.
Cunts.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Casual Swinger. Mallory here.
My name's Mickey.
And we've got our Texas episode for you.
Everything's bigger in Texas and fucking sheep are fast.
What a great trip. What a great trip. We have so much to talk about. We're late. So late.
Yeah, we got sick.
Oh, it was awful.
That was awful. We just came back, and I think we just went so hard in that, short period of time. We're like, we're going to go back. We're going to do this. It's going to be a great podcast. It's going to be so much fun. And then we were like,
Oh, man, it hit us like a brick wall. I also think, germs played a role.
Oh,
germs?
Just
saying.
were they sheep germs, goat germs, Angie and
mm.
Jay germs?
No, I think they were airplane germs.
Airplane germs.
Yeah.
Oh, we definitely did some airplane
I should
shit.
really stop licking that lap tray.
But it looks delicious. I get it.
It's a little spicy.
I tried to offer you something else to lick on the plane, and you were not willing to try.
I didn't want to get arrested, by an air marshal.
I bet I could have finished by the time we landed.
I bet you could have.
So, hey, this is the creepy ad section for our podcast.
The creepy ads?
Maybe they're creepy. No, well, it is Halloween.
Okay. Are we going to make them spooky?
Spooky ads. Nah, we're going to talk about casualtoys.com, guys. Make sure you check out our website where we sell toys and other good stuff. Now, we do this little thing called Hedo Bum, so not everything we do is swinger-oriented. Hedo Bum is the celebration of hedonism, which is, the love of pleasure and the pursuit of pleasure. And we put up a bunch of new T-shirts this week where you can go out and get T-shirts that have all kinds of, basic white girl sayings like beach please, and they said I could be anything, so I'll be at the beach. And I don't know. We're putting that kind of stuff up there for you. So you don't have to just buy casual toys stuff. You don't have to buy sex toys. You don't even have to buy casual swinger stuff. We're putting all that stuff up there. And we gave you a code, which is SDU. What's that for? That's for Swinging Down Under. Swinging Down Under is our friends Kate and Daryl out there in Singapore. They're not even down under anymore. They're in some random Asian nation hanging out. But their code is SDU. Get you 20% off any sex toys on that site. Doesn't apply to the shirts because I'd have to charge $35 for a crappy T-shirt in order to give everybody a discount.
I love that we're selling crappy T-shirts. You're hilarious.
Well, it's a crappy ad or a creepy ad. I don't know. They're actually really nice T-shirts, but you know what I mean.
I wonder if everyone's going to notice we're a little rusty.
All right, we've been doing this a while.
Speaking of Kate and Daryl, let's talk about May 2020 PCAP.
Podcast-A-Palooza.
I cannot wait. So excited.
They have so much stuff happening at PCAP now that I can't even keep track of it all. I need to bring up the website for the crappy ad section of, Casual Swinger just to talk about it. But we've got, I think that she's having fire breathers and dancers and aerial performers. And I am certain she's going to bring me a little person dressed as a clown.
You're on your own, sir.
No? Is it the clown thing or the little person?
Definitely the clown thing, for sure.
I don't think she's bringing a little person, but what is she bringing? She's bringing Sex Uninterrupted. We Got a Thing. She's bringing Monogamish Marriage. She's bringing, everybody. Swinger Diaries. I can't even, it's going to be so awesome. So many great podcasters.
Yeah, action-packed, many events, great people.
Miami.
Yeah, well, yeah. Miami's wonderful.
Right?
So I love Miami.
There's going to be yoga classes. I didn't even know there's going to be yoga classes.
I didn't know either. We found that out yesterday.
Yeah. So just so many.
Literally something for
things.
Everyone.
Yeah. So make sure, if you haven't checked it out, check out the show notes or go to casualswinger.com and you'll get information on Podcast-A-Palooza. Or you can just go to podcast-A-Palooza.com and check that out there, which is going to be super cool. Now, what are we doing in 12 days?
We're going to Hedo.
I'm going to get so naked. I'm going to swing my penis.
It always surprises me how many suitcases we have for a resort where you're naked, 85% of the day.
I believe you should check that. How many suitcases you have?
Well, I mean, we have a lot of stuff to give away and games and all that good stuff.
I don't even take underwear. I can't be bothered with underwear. I'm going to Hedo.
I don't think any of the underwear I've set aside have crotches in them.
I like that, though, because I like to be able to get down and kiss your lady parts and just be like, wow, it's right there.
Right on. And I just like to show it to people.
It's fun, too. Hey, honey, I dropped my pen. Could you pick that up? Why do you have a pen? I don't know. I got a box of them. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. It's going to be awesome. We're going to Hedo. We're leaving in 12 days. We're going with Rachals Rascals. We go every November. We go every February. Now, you know what? That's a great group. The November group, by the way, we've got over 180 people on this trip now.
Wow. That is going to be a badass pool party. Really, two pool parties. Like
when we started MCing for those guys, there were like 30 people in that group.
I think it was more than that, but still,
it wasn't a lot.
This November group has grown tremendously. They're great folks. The party's always on. Tequila's flowing. And one of the things I love that we're doing this trip is we're doing the clothing swap. Do you remember when we did that last February?
Oh, yeah. What is it? What do you call it? Slutwear
swap?
Slutwear swap
and,
or something?
And it happens to all of us. Like we buy some slutwear and maybe it never gets worn and forgotten about. And, it's just taking up space. So what we do is it's like kind of like a free yard sale and everyone's welcome to join. So everyone brings their stuff, sets it out. People go through, try stuff on, and go home with some new outfits.
That's right. So you heard it here, folks. Come to Hedonism with us, and you can swap sluts. No?
I almost spit coffee all over myself.
Okay, so maybe not. But if you come with us in June, because in June 2020, which is right after Podcast-A-Palooza, if you can believe it, we're going again, and we're going with iOS Connections. And this is going to be we're calling this Summer Swing. So Summer Swing is a casual swinger and iOS Connections event. This is going to be us going down there with like 20 couples, a lot more. Well, actually 40. So it's 40 couples or 80 people. It's going to be a very intimate event, I think, for us. It's going to be a lot more personal time, just kind of hanging out and shooting the shit.
Yeah, and definitely lifestyle focused. There's going to be games and activities. We're working out all the details. Yeah. I think it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, I think we got a lot going on for that one. But the big one is that it is lifestyle focused. So we're going to have more lifestyle games, things to help you guys hook up and have fun with other swingers.
And us.
Oh, wait. Does that mean I get some booty? All right, maybe.
Love it.
We'll see. But yeah,
I'm sorry. I have to cheer you on. My bad.
Yes, cheer. Come on. Shh. Anyway, so that ends the crappy ad section of Casual Swinger. Let's talk about what we've been up to. Spooky. It was Halloween this weekend.
Yeah, it is. And it's fall in Florida. So what is it, like 89, 90 degrees?
Yeah, it's July 92nd here in Florida right now. It's only 90 degrees. And of course, we were sick as shit.
Yeah, the heat diaries over here. And
we had the genius plan to stay on I-Drive when we went to the Secrets party last night. So we actually got a hotel over off of I-Drive because I have Marriott points coming out of my wazoo. So we stayed over there. And you know what I-Drive has a lot of other than shitty tourist joints? Shitty drivers? And shitty tourists. Yeah. Oh, my God. They were freaking everywhere. Like every 30 seconds, I looked at you and said, what the f is this guy doing? I have nothing for you. My favorite part was when you started saying it for me. You started yelling at the other drivers for me. I was like, thank you. It's safe. Yeah. I was trying to give your voice a rest. It's very frustrating. Oh. And I forget because we don't typically like frequent the parks or anything. So when you're around large groups of people like that with like children and families and elderly, like it was a little intense. Oh, yeah, and I try not to yell at the liver-spotted masses, like the old people that live here. I don't yell at them, right? Because they're old and, they know things. Or the little kids. Like, they're loud, they're sticky, they're dirty. Oh, yeah. That one that walked past us. So when we stayed at this resort, the restaurants that were on site, which it worked because we were trying to get to Secrets. So we went to one of the on-site restaurants, and this kid walks by, and he's got this stream of snot up the side of his face with a booger stuck in his hair. And I was like, wow, I am so glad we're past that stage. Yeah, I know. And it's not that I dislike kids. It's just I'm in awe. He looked like a garbage pail kid. Poor kid. I know. I wanted to find his mother and be like, you need to She was have drunk wet in wipes. The pool. Yeah. Someone needed to hand that little boy a wet wipe. Right. I was fresh out. Dunk him in the hot tub. Poor kid. It was disgusting. So good. And the food was nasty. Yeah. But whatever, because we left there and so last night was the biggest party of the year.
Yeah,
it's Secrets Hideaway, which Secrets Hideaway is the biggest swinger club in Central Florida. It's secretshideaway.com. Those guys are friends of ours. Erin is their marketing director, and she's super hot. And they throw this particular party. It's just over the top. I mean, it's been sold out for ages.
It is, and every year they take it, a step further.
I don't know what they're going to do.
I have no idea. The place was slam packed. There was definitely no parking. Like after 10:30, there was really nowhere to park. And they had, the haunted house was new for this year.
Yeah.
They set that up in the courtyard between the two bars, which is really, really neat. They did get some bottlenecking with, the amount of humans coming through and getting around, but everyone seemed to really enjoyed it.
I heard a lot of people screaming. I heard you scream when that asshole with the chainsaw chased after you. Which was kind of funny, but we'll get into him in a minute. But, that party is definitely the biggest we've ever seen at Secrets, but there were, some issues, right? I mean, we stood in line for 30 or 40 minutes to get a drink?
Yeah. I feel like they were a little understaffed this time. I mean, it's always been a little crazy, but people were waiting very long to get drinks. The bartenders were hustling. Busting their asses, and it was just there were so many people. There was no way that they could
do. I mean, we know those bartenders, and I mean, so here's the funny part. So if you want to get a drink in a bar, you guys ready for this? Tip 101. This is Mickey's tips for getting drinks in a bar. Send Mallory to the fucking bar. Don't send me, because when my goofy ass goes lumbering up to the bar, I get ignored because I don't have tits. So she walks up there, and of course, immediately she gets attention. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm leaving.
It's not immediate.
And of course, they all know us, and they're like, whatever, Mickey will stand there. He's patient. He's a nice guy. But Mallory, nope, she's hot. She gets attention. So he apologizes to Mallory and pours her a double. And so somebody had the genius idea. It was another lifestyler that was there that said, hey, order two. Don't order one drink at a time.
Oh, yeah. I was like, hello, my new best friend.
Right? So we did order two, and then Mallory turns around. We're standing there talking, and some guy comes running at her with a chainsaw.
Oh, no, you're culpable in this too, because you guys were talking, and my back was to him, and you made eye contact and pointed. I was like, okay, I'll look over there. And I look over, and he's doing that dead stare. It reminded me of Halloween Horror Nights or something. And I'm like, oh no, he's coming. And then he just charged me, and it scared the shit out of me. I mean, my arm shook. I tried to move out of the way so he didn't touch me, and I spilled half my drinks all over me.
No, I was going to say, your arms didn't shake. They lurched upward, and your drinks flew into the air that you waited 35 minutes to get.
Yeah, as much as I love Halloween, I don't like being scared. That's why I didn't do the haunted house. And then there were fucking clowns everywhere. What happened this year that was cool?
Dude, that one guy with the balloons, that was trippy as shit. That even bothered me a little bit. I was like, whoa. You need to
and then the little
balloons. Why did the balloons bother me?
Yeah, and the little short one.
Oh, yeah, that just kind of followed you and stared at you.
And cocked its head. I was like, I will punch you. Please go away.
I really hope there was a hot girl under that mask.
That's all you, baby. I just wanted it to go away.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But so that was kind of nuts, actually. And but hey, speaking of butts,
I love butts. That's all I did. It was so packed. It was really hard to have conversations with people. But something that I took note of is all the amazing asses that were there. And I hate to objectify people like that, but it's something that I find very, very attractive. I am a butt girl. And there were just so many, and people looked so outstanding that I couldn't help but trail off in mid-conversation and check out all the butts that were passing by.
You are a butt girl. You brought butt plugs with you.
I did.
In your go bag.
I did.
I was like, wow, she's all about the butt. There were a lot of very sexy, probably more sexy people there than any party I've ever seen at Secrets. They were.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, there was a tremendous amount of outstandingly sexy people. I'm using too many descriptors there.
Yeah. Well, what do they do? Do these people live at the gym? Do they work at a gym? I don't get it. There were some the abs were off the chain.
Yeah.
And I think for me that was something that kind of actually threw me off a little bit. And
really,
I thought it was something. I actually went back and forth about whether I should talk about this on the show or not. But I think it's important as lifestylers and as content creators that we be honest. Mm-hmm. We're not perfect.
God, no.
And I kind of had a moment there, right, where I was looking around and I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't feel good. Our costumes were hilarious. People loved our costumes, and Mallory did a great job. We were waning Garth, so party on.
Party on, Wayne.
And everybody that came up to us was just diddly way, party on, Wayne, party on, Garth.
Swing.
Yeah, right. It was a swinger party. But you know, I didn't feel good, and I kind of had a moment. It was almost like a micro panic attack where I was like, I just want to leave. Like I'm not comfortable. I'm not happy.
Yeah, I felt
that was weird.
Yeah, I felt for you. I've totally been there, right? I try to protect my confidence as much as possible, but there are times where, you know, your surroundings, the environment, or just the way you feel, where you are mentally, it overtakes you. And
well, it definitely did.
I felt bad. I knew there was really not much I could do to help you in that moment. That's just something you had to work through, and I was there to support you.
Mm-hmm. Which you were great at. You were so supportive and so cool about it. And I was just, you know, I was just kind of looking around. I'm like, everybody looks amazing, and I kind of feel like a jackass and with this mullet, you know, on that no one's really going to pay. And you know, I'm the kind of guy that people kind of have to hang out with me to really kind of get the whole package of who I am. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not like sloth or anything, but it just
I think you're super sexy.
Yeah, it's my girl. But I feel like I couldn't. It was so loud, and I couldn't hear, and everybody kind of had a different face on. And so I struggled. And I think it's important that you guys as listeners know that it happens to all of us, even people that talk about swinging often.
Yeah.
Here on your radio right now, you're listening to us on your phone or in your car. And that happened to me too, right? And don't feel bad. Every you know, everybody has a different kind of day.
Mm-hmm.
And I had one yesterday because we're recording this on a Sunday, and it sucked. But tomorrow's another day, and you know, I think we're going to bounce back, and it's going to be kind of awesome. So even, you know, when you're not having a great time somewhere, don't forget the most important thing that I always tell myself when I go out to a club, or when I go to Hedo, or even when we go out to a house party or to dinner with another couple. At the end of the night, I get to go home with the hottest girl in the room, somebody that I love, that I think is amazing, right? And what she did is she made all right with the world, right? We got back to our room, and she's like, if you want to hang from the rafters and have hot monkey sex, we can do that, or we can just cuddle up, and you can watch the highlights of the game where your Nationals got the shit kicked out of them. And I'm like, wow, you're not helping.
I was really hoping they were ahead, and they weren't.
No,
I had my fingers crossed.
They lost 8-1.
They did.
That was awful. But hey, you know what, guys? We're going to come back here in a couple of minutes, and we're going to give you guys some highlights for our episode that we call Everything's Bigger in Texas, and sheep are fucking fast. So we went down to Texas for my birthday, and we hung out with the Average Swingers. They came down from Dallas. We love Jay and Angie.
Oh, man. Like, I left there, and I just don't cry often. It's just something I do. Like... Oh, I'm starting to digress because I'm going to get a little emotional. But I didn't want to leave because we were having such a good time. And you have many opportunities to meet folks, but to meet truly genuine, good-natured, I mean, just amazing people through and through like that. We hadn't had an opportunity previously to spend that kind of quality time with them, and I was just so grateful, and I can't wait to do it again.
I'm genuinely convinced they don't come any better than those two people, which,
right?
By the way,
I feel like such an asshole
right?
compared to them.
And hopefully you guys noticed our intro this week was from Jay and Angie. They actually did the intro for the show. And you're going to hear some more of that. This is kind of our anniversary tour. This is our 1-year anniversary for Casual Swinger. So we had some of our friends like Jay and Angie. We had Euphoria Chronicles. We had Our Naughty Escapades. We had Swinging Down Under. And a couple others actually go out and record intros for us. So you're going to hear
hilarious.
It's going to be so much fun.
Oh my gosh.
But hey, why don't you tell everybody where to find us, and we'll come back and we'll get into Texas a little bit.
Sounds great. We're Casual Swinger everywhere, folks. That is Facebook. We have a new page posted.
Fuck Facebook, but we did it anyway.
Yes. Casual Swinger Podcast on Facebook. We're also on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, SLS, SDC, Cassidy, and Double Date Nation, as well as Quiver. If you're looking to find us online, casualswinger.com, and you can also send us a message at podcast@casualswinger. Like us, love us, want to send us some kudos, consider giving us an iTunes review.
I think that covers it. You guys are listening to Casual Swinger. Welcome back, everybody, to Casual Swinger. I'm still Mickey.
And I'm Mallory.
And we're going to talk about how everything is bigger in Texas. We went down to Austin, Texas, and hung out with some really good friends of ours for my birthday.
Yeah, birthday boy. But just a little correction there. I believe Austin's north.
It's what?
North. Up.
It is?
Yeah.
North of what? Mexico?
Orlando?
Is it?
I think so.
Oh. Okay. I don't know. I thought it was kind of like straight across the Gulf of Mexico. We went over.
We went over to Austin.
I don't fucking know. I don't know geography.
Down to Austin.
I'm an engineer. Don't ask me that shit. I don't know. It's right. I guess we kind of went
cute.
over. Whatever. But it was my birthday, and my beautiful wife bought me tickets to see one of our favorite singer-songwriters. He is a badass out of Texas by the name of Wade Bowen. If y'all listen to Red Dirt Country, you know Wade Bowen, and that brother, man, God, he can put on a good show.
He really can. Really can. Again, he's just a magnificent songwriter, and one of my favorite Texas bands, Stoney LaRue, happened to be opening for him. Yeah. So it was perfect.
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, it was kind of in the middle of fuck all nowhere, Texas.
It was so pretty, though. Like, I think I was born to be a Texan.
Yeah?
I really do. I think I could totally live in Texas.
See, I think that's where you got the
Or
whole,
Austin.
like, everything's bigger in Texas. You just think all the penises are bigger.
I wanted to see, but the opportunity didn't present itself. But no, I fell in love. I've never been to Austin before. You've made some work trips out there. Most of my trips are Northeast, Midwest, sometimes out to the West Coast, but really never to Texas. And I never really thought to go there on my own accord. It was a perfect opportunity to do so. And I fell in love with Austin. It's fucking weird. Weird as hell.
Oh, it's
and
a strange city.
Love it. I love everything about it.
Is that excitement? Maybe like because it was your first time. Is that why you decided to go there and turn around and come right back home?
Oh my God. I can't believe I did that. You guys, I'm so stupid. So we use points to book our tickets, right? Or credit, whatever. It happens. We use Southwest a lot. And apparently I didn't realize this until we were on the plane 45 minutes from landing, that my return flight instead of Sunday was like 2 hours from the moment that I noticed it. Like, literally get off the plane and go get on one to come right back home. And I looked at Mickey and I'm like, I have something to tell you, and please don't laugh because I'm really upset. And I told him, and what did you do?
I busted out laughing right there
Such
on the
a
plane.
jerk.
I laughed my balls off. She's like, stop laughing at me. I'm like, I can't.
I do this for a living. I book travel all the time. I don't know how I manage to do that.
Literally booked the next
I
fucking
did.
thing smoking out of Austin straight back to
did.
Orlando.
What was worse is I'm like, I have to go tell a gate agent so they can help me, and they're going to look at me and be like, this is one dumb bitch. Like, can I even provide her enough help to fix this?
Who does that? Who books a flight immediately home after you land?
do.
I mean,
Oh, man.
I got to say, though, Southwest Airlines, I know that somebody that listens to this show is an employee of Southwest Airlines. Hey, thanks for only charging us an additional $250 to
Dude,
get Mallory home
I
on
would have
Sunday.
gave them an ovary to make sure I could
are
come
you
back
doing
on
with them?
Sunday.
You can't do anything with your ovaries. Go ahead. Here, take them. Those things are worth like 50 cents now.
We're fighting.
For what? Your pussy's worth $1 million, but your ovaries aren't worth anything anymore.
Oh my God, get out of here. Anywho, but
But
no, she was able to fix it. It did cost me a couple $100, but at the end of the day, it was my mistake. So I had to own that.
I do have to say this because this is really important for me. And, there are some things that happen in our lives, guys. And I am kind of famous for saying this to my friends, that when you look back over your life, you will remember the times of your life. You'll remember the best times you've ever had. And the thing about the best times of your life, the best things that ever happened to you, they're always in retrospect. You never know they're happening when they're happening. But this weekend, from that moment, right after that bullshit with Southwest happened, it seemed like everything was perfect. No matter what we did, we couldn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. Everything smelled like roses except for that fucking barista who was
She was
a
a
jerk.
royal bitch, but you
Yeah.
know what? I didn't care, right? It just was so awesome. Everything we did came up roses. And I mean, right down to the fact that before we left, I looked up and there was a fucking rainbow in the sky between two clouds directly overhead, which I've never seen in my life. And I know it sounds cheesy as shit, but I'm like, man, somebody was looking over us because every single thing we did, and we're going to tell you guys about some of it here in 2 seconds, but I mean, everything we did came up roses.
It was so good. I'm looking at your soundboard because I really want to cue the Dirty Dancing like closing song for you right now because you had the time of your life.
I really did. And I know it was my birthday, and I know that Jay and Angie went way out of their way.
They did.
They really did. And guys, I had one of the best birthdays I can remember. And by the way, if my 40th birthday was stupid. Like it was amazing. All of my friends from Virginia came out, and I had an amazing birthday thanks to Mallory. But I'm saying that this was right up there with one of the best birthdays I can ever remember. And
I'm so glad you had a great time. I had a fantastic time, but I feel like my good time was, icing on the cake because it was all about you.
Oh, so we got there, and so we're going to start talking about this a little bit. We got there, and Austin's such a cool city, and we got this Uber driver who we thought he was like this cheesy old fart, and he kind of was, but he takes us down to Rainy Street, and Rainy Street is this cool, weird-ass, eclectic street that's kind of like off the beaten path.
That's
with like
true,
Container Bar, which is a bar made of fucking shipping containers.
Yeah, and they had like some of the historical homes converted to retail storefronts or restaurants and bars, and then you had the food trucks, and it was so cool. And it was on the Rainy is really shaded, so the sun's shining, and you have that peeking through the trees. It was picturesque for a city.
Beards and man buns as far as the eye can see. But
all the dogs.
Oh yeah, dogs everywhere.
Dogs everywhere, which for me, I'm like, I get to pet them all.
But so obviously Mallory was in love. Like once we got into Austin, she's like, this is just the coolest. And I've been telling her about Austin for 10 years. I have always been a fan of Austin. But we're like, screw it. We get in, we drop our stuff off. We're just going to go for a walk because Jay and Angie are a couple hours away. And we're like, look, we're just going to walk down the street. We're going to stay off of 36 for a little bit and just kind of check stuff out. We found a music store that was everything music, shirts and
Austin
memorabilia.
City Limits,
ACL stuff, like old albums, like just cool shit.
Like Beatles corner.
Yeah. I mean, we were like, this is so cool. And then we go a few streets over, and we found what was at the bar? Iron Cactus.
Iron Cactus is where we ate, which wasn't far from Maggie Mae's.
Yeah, right around the corner from Maggie Mae's, and we just kind of ate like really good food and drank Casa Azul, which is one of my favorite tequilas.
Yeah, that was very good. We did birthday shots together, and I tried to toast you, and I was so not good. I'm not a Toastmaster. I'm like, and all that other good shit that I don't know how to say, and I love you.
You're like, I love you. I'm going to suck your dick later. Ding. I'm like, yay. It's a party. But, it was just awesome. And then Jay and Angie showed up, and God, I think everything changed.
Yeah.
I mean, and not in a bad way. It got better. I don't know how the fuck it could, but it did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it
exponentially, like there was an escalator involved.
Right?
Yeah.
So we hung out in the room for a while. We poured coffee cups full of liquor.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Right? Because they brought me a bottle of
Angel's
Envy,
yeah.
which is one of my, and I'm not a crazy like Angel's Envy drinker, but I love the story behind it. So it's one of my favorite liquors for that reason. Very quick, like aside, but Lincoln Henderson, who's the distiller, died before they could release it. So there's angel wings on the bottle. And that's where that comes from. And he's the distiller of Woodford Reserve. So there's a little aside for you. But I think you guys will dig that if you ever try it. It's finished in port casks.
I love it because of that. So
yeah, and it was a present from Jay and Angie, which I very much appreciate. So we had some of that, and then we got down and started walking around downtown Austin a little bit.
Yeah,
Where did
they
we go
were
first.
So they were our tour guides, which they're really amazing.
Yeah,
for it. So we were just they mentioned the toy museum, so we're heading like in that direction. And we decided to pop into a little liquor store that's like a few doors down, right?
Oh, that's right. We started at that liquor store.
We just went into some random liquor store, and here's these distillers locally.
Standing there.
Bourbon and whiskey.
Saying, please, try our bourbon. I'm like, yeah.
Ding.
It's my birthday.
And it turns out it was fucking delicious.
Absolutely delicious.
So we looked at each other like, all right, do you have room in your suitcase? Because I have room in mine. We'll have to check our bags, but we could totally do this.
And check this shit out. I checked because they gave us glasses to go with them.
Oh, yeah, they did. They were so sweet.
They were amazing. And we bought 2 bottles of their whiskey. We bought a rye and a regular.
Yep.
And it survived the trip home.
It did. And it's actually outstanding. I don't know that you can get it outside of Texas, but the distiller's called Milam and Greene. It's a mom and pop shop. Very knowledgeable, very kind, sweet people, very intelligent in regards to the distilling process and their product. Highly recommend them.
Straight up fucking delicious too. Let's not forget
So
that,
good.
right? So anyway, we left there and, we're walking down, I don't remember the name of the road, but it's in the middle of Austin. And
That
there's, yeah, that one. We're walking down that one, and there's an 80s
Congress?
toy. Yeah, maybe it was Congress.
I have no idea.
We were on our way to Home Slice Pizza. I know that.
Well, Toy Museum,
And we
which
went
was in that direction.
Which was right there, the toy museum. And they're like, hey, you guys want to go in? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I played with some toys in the 80s. Let's do this. I also looked at a lot of porn in the 80s. But we go up the stairs, and I'm starting to see all this memorabilia on the walls. And I feel like 9-year-old Mickey is just trying desperately to break out of my chest like an alien from like Aliens, And the more we got into this place, the happier I got.
It was like every time you saw something, and there was stuff everywhere. I mean, memorabilia on the walls, advertising, and then the actual collections that were in the cases together. And every time you found something new, like that joy just doubled, and it kept doubling and doubling. And we were all sitting around going, "Look at this! Oh my God, did you see that?"
Right. So Jay grabs me and he goes, Mickey, how many of these wrestlers can you name? And they had this collection of WWF rubber wrestling figurines. And we're naming Georgie Animal Steel and Jimmy Superfly Snuka. And of course, Hulk Hogan standing in the front. Fuck him. Because we've got Greg the Hammer Valentine. And we've got like Brutus Beefcake. And we've got, just like you name it. All these old ass wrestlers from Saturday morning. And we look like 2 little kids.
You guys literally did. Angie and I were standing back, and I'm like, how adorable is this right now? Do you see the pure joy on their faces?
It was so
and it was
cool.
It was a little competitive too.
Oh yeah, because totally he realized that we both knew a shitload about this stuff, which really, by the way, there's no cred with chicks at all for knowing this stuff.
Hey, no, I disagree.
But I love that I heard out of the corner of my ear, I heard Angie go, we really should be videoing this. And I was like, fuck both of you, right? Like,
yeah, I missed opportunity, but I did get some adorable pictures.
Right. And then, my silent happiness really grew when we found King Kong Bundy. I was so
weird. Well, yeah, and I'm over there. Once you guys, had your moment, I realized that I was standing in front of Thundercats.
Oh, right.
Snurf.
And they have Snurf. They had this huge Thundercats display, and I thought that was the crown jewel, right?
Yeah.
Because they had Snarf, and they had Lion-O, and they had Tigra, and they had like all these and Chitara, and all the. I was like, oh. This is amazing.
That was every case, though.
That was every fucking
case. We were like, oh my God, look at this.
They had an original Optimus Prime and an original, they had a Galvatron, they had a Megatron, they had a Shockwave, a Soundwave.
Okay.
We
get it. You loved it. You were so excited.
It was so much fun. I'm not even going to go into the G.I. Joe guys, but it was the G.I. Joe case is freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, we totally played Oregon Trail on an Apple IIc.
And I didn't die of dysentery.
No one died of dysentery.
But I did try desperately to kill us all.
Yes, you did.
I literally I tried to ford a river, and we lost most of our bullets as we floated down the river. It wasn't good. I really should never play Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
But they had that. They had all the old video games and shit.
That
which
was
I'm not
fun.
even going to go into. By the way, if you have a chance to check out the 80s museum in Austin, do that shit.
Yeah,
that was
the
amazing.
Toy Museum, absolutely.
All right, moving the fuck on, because I will talk about that shit all day.
You will. You'll name
really
every
would.
character you saw and loved as a child and give details and historical facts. And we're not that podcast, babe.
No, but I probably could start a separate podcast about it. But anyway, the point is, we went down to Home Slice Pizza. If you're in Austin, check out Home Slice Pizza. That shit was money.
It was very good. It was very good. I had no idea, by the way, because we had to go over the bridge. And then the bats that live under the bridge, like apparently people congregate there just to watch them when the sun goes down at dusk. All these bats come out and fly, and there's tens of thousands of them. And we didn't stay for it because also I'm a scaredy cat, and stuff like that might freak me out just a little bit. But I was astonished at
you
this
know who
attraction.
I think doesn't like that though?
Who?
The kayakers down below. They
Oh,
get shit
all
on by
the
10,000
Batwanu?
bats.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, just being a tourist in
Yeah.
Austin and just paddling along, and all
Well,
of
we
a
saw
sudden
that
10,000
rowing
bats shit on
team.
you?
That rowing team that was that was doing it. I don't know that anyone got shut up. Maybe they're used to it.
They probably know better. Like, we were tourists, so we were like, "What do you mean? There's like 10,000 bats?" And by the way, lots of damn bats, because when we were walking over, you could actually hear them like squeaking and chirping and shit, and it was kind of crazy.
Weird.
But yeah, so we went down to Home Slice Pizza, and then we went to, let's see, we left there, and where did
Quick change, and then we went down to the Speakeasy.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
That was so cool. It was literally like this bar behind a hidden door.
Was it called the Firehouse, I think? Firehouse
Yes.
Hostel?
Yes.
Firehouse Hostel. So
Man, your memory's good.
no, it really isn't. But for whatever reason, I remember this because it was the best weekend of my life. It was so amazing. We went to this hostel, and by the way, you walk in, and it's so unassuming. Like, there's a girl sitting in front of a staircase that goes up, and like that's like a hostel. If you go to Europe and you go to a hostel, it's basically some angry person sitting there going, "Do you want a room? Get a room. Here, give me money." But there's a bookcase over to your right. And if you reach over and grab the bookcase and pull it to the right, there's a giant fucking bar behind it.
It was so cool.
And so Jay found this place, and we got a corner booth, like as busy as it was.
Yeah, we made friends. There were businessmen there in the corner, and there were a few seats right next to them.
Yeah, so we sat by them, and they gave us their booth.
Yeah. They were like, we got to get out of here. These freaks are scaring us a little bit.
They said Austin's weird. We're like, we know.
I
was
love
so
it.
cool. And we had some amazing cocktails. So it turns out there's a craft cocktail bar hidden behind a bookcase in a bar in the middle of downtown Austin.
Legit.
Or not in a bar, in a hostel. Sorry, I misspoke. But wow, that was so fucking cool. The drinks were great. The people were strange. And we left there, and where the hell did they take us? They took us to a gay bar.
Yeah, we went. I can't remember the name of the bar.
I can't
But it was
either.
wonderful. I had so much fun there.
That was one of the coolest bars. Like, just the structure of the bar and the architecture of the bar. It was 2 levels. The top level was open to the floor below,
Yeah.
and there was a drag show going on.
Yeah, so they had bars on opposing sides. It's like a big square, and apparently when they do their pub crawl in Austin, this is one of their stops, which I could totally see why.
It was
it's
amazing.
So fun. Good drinks, great show, and like you said, the way it's outlined, you can see from any point in the bar what's going on downstairs. What I thought was very interesting, though, was during the drag show that pretty much every 6 out of 7 songs were Miley Cyrus.
All of them.
All of them.
Bunch of gay dudes dressed as chicks dancing to Miley Cyrus and lip syncing perfectly.
Oh, amazing.
And by the way, there was one. I struggle because I don't know if maybe this person identified as female or not and was just that's who she is, or if this was a gay guy in drag. But that dude had some legs. The black guy that was dancing to Miley Cyrus.
Oh, yeah, I know
Holy
exactly
shit.
who you're talking about. In the mini?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that dude had moves.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
dude,
Jamie
girl,
Lee Curtis,
Yeah.
Tina Turner, eat your fucking heart
like,
out.
legs for days,
Mhm.
and I'm not trying to be insulting because I just don't know what their preferred pronoun is, but wow, like insanely cool, well done. You're listening to this show, we were impressed. But my favorite thing about that place was, turns out they had a dungeon downstairs. And so we went downstairs and checked out this dungeon, and we got down there, and there was no one there. So I'm like, we're taking
Literally.
pictures. We're taking pictures.
Yeah.
And so we got these brand new iPhone 11s, and I got a great picture of Mallory hanging from a St. Andrew's cross over in the corner.
So weird. My arms look broken.
No, it just looks so trippy and creepy and fucked up that I'm going to post it on Twitter.
Okay.
So
Whatever.
everybody check Twitter for this. It's going to be there. I think I could even post it on Instagram and maybe even our Fuck You Facebook page.
Okay.
Because it was awesome. And that's what we did. We just kind of hung out, and we went to a gay bar, and we went and had awesome
And
drinks in a speakeasy.
I think what happened is we got a little tatered. We all got back to the hotel, and everyone's like, deuces, sleepy time.
Too drunk to fuck.
Too
Bye.
drunk. Yeah. Well, then I decided once we got in the room that I wasn't too drunk to fuck, that I was just drunk enough. So I put on an outfit for you.
Okay, so guys, I want you to get a visual in your head for a minute. Guys and
It was
girls,
so rough.
I want you to visualize anything with googly eyes that you've ever seen before, where the eyeballs go boogity, 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 and they just kind of go in different directions. Mallory had blue eyes.
Oh my God.
She went and put on this bodysuit, this crotchless bodysuit.
It was so tight. I had to lay on the bathroom floor to get it up over my knees and then like wiggle into it. Like it wasn't as stretchy as some of the other like full body onesies that I've worn before, but I was determined, like I was not going to fail at this. I was going to get it on over my body.
Because it was literally my birthday. It was actually my birthday that day.
You were getting birthday sex if it killed me.
Yeah, you're going to have birthday sex. Now, I will tell you this, guys. We're going on 14 years together. We've been in the lifestyle, almost all of them. And there is a line. So you have anything goes, Mallory, which is it goes right up to a line. When she starts to get a few drinks in her, she's like, anything goes. You want the butt. We're going to suck. We're going to fuck. We're going to do whatever. And then her next door neighbor, anything goes, Mallory's next door neighbor is too drunk to fuck Mallory.
Yeah.
And too drunk to fuck Mallory was present and accounted for.
Nope. I wasn't tapping out.
So
Pros play hurt.
So she comes out in this bodysuit and these high heel shoes.
And I'm trying to be sexy, and it's just not working.
She wobbles into a couple of walls, bounces. She hit everything but the pace car between the bathroom and the bed. And she jumps
How
in.
could you not have wanted me more than ever in that moment?
I looked deep in the one eye I could keep up with because the other one was rolling in circles. And I was like, are you sure this is a good idea? Because I learned a long time ago, don't shake up a Coke bottle before you open it. So she's like, we're doing this. So you know what? We threw down, and it was a lot of fun. We took some pictures.
It was hot. It was sexy. But when we were done, like I was like, I need all the water and sleep.
And the Advil. And all the Advil.
I don't even remember Advil.
Yeah, I gave you 4.
Okay, thank you for that. I was in rough shape.
Right? So we managed to peel ourselves out of bed the next morning. And there was the grumpiest barista I've ever seen. So I drink something called bulletproof tea, which is a high-fat tea that's kind of a breakfast replacement for me.
And I did the same thing with coffee. And I was so excited when we walked in. The main level of the hotel is actually a coffee bar and like cafe. So we skip the traditional breakfast. We go down to the main floor, get the car. We're getting ready to leave. We're like, oh, we'll order a couple coffees. I'll get one for, Angie. We'll get your tea. And then we'll head out. 10, 15 minutes max. 35 minutes later, I was about to peel the skin off my face. I was so upset.
Like poltergeist style. She looks at me. She goes, I have to get out of here. I'm going to kill this bitch.
Well, when you work in the service industry, right, you're people facing.
Yeah.
So even in some of the higher stress times, it's very important to still be kind or at least civil with other people. And I'd asked a couple of questions like, hey, I'll take a, bulletproof. Can we do the same thing with tea? No, it is proprietary. Like she was admonishing me and I was like, oh, okay. Well, can I order a tea and then the stuff that goes in it? No. Like everything, like she was just, I think she was stressed and maybe just taking it out in that moment. But like, it really pushed my buttons.
Oh, yeah.
And then the
She's
35
like, nothing
minute,
special, no special orders.
You don't understand, ma'am. It's proprietary. First of all, you little shit.
Yeah.
I am not your ma'am.
Right?
We're literally 10 years apart.
We have dogs older than you little twit.
Please don't speak to me in that manner. And please don't make me wait 35 minutes for my cup of hot milk.
And that's what happened. So she walks out of the building, and I'm standing there dealing with all of these man beards and man buns. And, well, there was a girl beard, too, but that's a different story. And so I'm standing here waiting on these coffees. And by the way, I've got pretty big hands for a guy. But the size of my palm, that's how tall these coffees were. They were tiny little coffees for like $11 a piece. And I bring them out to the truck, and I get in with Jay and Angie, and I hand Angie hers, and she takes a swig and goes, well, that's hot milk. And I went, what?
Yeah.
Apparently there was no coffee in it.
Oh, man. I was like, oh, yeah.
Anyways,
we're like, fuck it. Let's get on with our day. So our wonderful road warriors and tour guides.
We went straight to Salt Lick.
We went straight to Salt Lick Barbecue because we wanted to get there early because apparently places like this fill up quickly, especially on the weekends and around lunchtime. So we wanted to get there before noon,
right?
Which is genius on their part. I would have not thought of that at all.
Me either. Who thinks that places run out of food? But turns out these really great barbecue places in Texas. There's one thing you want. For those of you in Texas, you know this already, but you want the burnt ends of the brisket. And there's only so much of it. There's only so much of it, right?
So good.
So we come rolling into this place at like 11 o'clock in the morning. We get a parking spot. When we went to leave, you couldn't see for the ocean of cars and trucks that were in this parking lot.
Yeah. Score one for the day.
Right? Score one for the day. We got there. We got all you can eat burnt ends.
Literally.
Never ending supply of burnt ends.
Yeah. And then my genius ass was like, snacky time. We're going to take the leftovers and save them for later, which included burnt ends, sausages, and their very delicious coleslaw.
You brought rotting cabbage to leave in a hot truck in Texas.
I did.
In October.
We get back in the car. I'm going to fast forward just for a second. After the first or second stop after we had lunch. And
it smelled like a fucking outhouse in that truck. In Angie's
valet,
brand new truck.
Shush, don't talk over me. I'm trying to have a moment here and get my shit together. Jay and Angie thought the valet shit in the truck because the cabbage from the coleslaw was ripening in the heat, and it smelled so bad. So bad. We had to ditch the snackies.
We actually thought the valet had farted and got out of the truck. So anyway, where was the valet? The valet was our next stop after Salt Lick Barbecue, which, by the way, Salt Lick's the fucking bomb, guys. You got to go check out Salt Lick. But we went to a place called Deep Eddy Distillery. If you haven't had Deep Eddy vodka is available everywhere in this country in any liquor store. Are you okay over there? You're crying.
I'm still like playing the moment where you and Jay were trying to blame it on each other after that.
I was sure he'd eaten all the beans and it was him.
Okay, I'm okay.
Okay.
So we're at the distillery.
Deep Eddy. And Deep Eddy's available everywhere. You can buy vodka. They have flavored vodkas. It's kind of what they're famous for.
It was interesting. It was fun.
Yeah, everything from peach to berry to sweet tea. But a really well-designed, like really cool place, right?
Yeah, it's definitely meant for groups. I mean, there were a lot of people there, but we never felt like overwhelmed or like
man
it was
buns. Lots of man buns.
Yeah, but we didn't feel like the service was, poor. You had to wait in line very long. Like it was great. They had great cocktails in this like little retail fair where people who, make jewelry or clothes or have, their own little shop where they're doing a little retail fair.
Yeah,
I loved it.
It was pretty wicked.
And an outdoor area with cornhole and dogs. All the dogs. We met Jameson.
Oh, Jameson the dog.
Yeah,
we did
he
meet
was
Jameson
so
the dog. And then they had that field of mesquite over on one side.
Yep.
And I think that's where we decided that maybe if, you were really lonely, you could have sex with a sheep and not catch an STD.
I don't know how you guys got into that conversation. And then you brought goats into it.
Well, I was just saying the sheep are fast.
So yeah, you and Jay, like, oh my God. You two together. Well, what about goats?
So
what the fuck?
We're going to need a goat check over here, guys.
Yeah.
Can we get a goat check?
Yeah. Funny all day long. Hashtag goat check.
So hashtag goat check became a thing. And, it really kicked off the day. We had a couple of drinks and Jay has one liquor that he will drink. And it turns out it's Deep Eddy Lemonade.
Yeah.
Which also coined the phrase, go deep, Jay.
Yeah, go deep, Jay.
Do your best. It was great.
I'm going to beat myself.
So Angie holds up her phone, right? And I'm sitting in the front seat with Angie. Jay and Mallory are in the back seat doing whatever the fuck they wanted, right? And we're in the front seat, and she goes, pick a place. Now, she holds up a Google map, and I literally, like, swirled my finger in the air like I'm Harry Potter and just picked a spot on the map. And what I happened to pick was Desert Door Distillery. And I mean, literally, this is exactly how it happened. Listen to Jay and Angie's podcast when they release this, because it's exactly how it happened.
Yeah.
And I picked Desert Door Distillery.
You
by
scored
accident.
big time, my dear. So we ended up, Desert Door Distillery is the only Sotal distiller in the United States.
What the fuck is Sotal?
I still don't know what Sotal is. I just know it was really tasty. It was herby. Like,
yeah. Well, it comes from a plant that grows in Mexico and in Texas. And it's the only two places it grows. And this is the only Sotal distillery in the United States.
Yeah.
Only one.
It's very interesting. Like, we walked in and we smelled tequila, and they're like, we do not say the T word here. We're like, well, what the fuck are we drinking?
Right.
And they explained it to us.
And there were a couple of girls behind the counter, and it was very basic and simple. And they're like, well, you can have this or this or this, or you can have Sotal that's been finished in oak barrels. And I'm like, oh. And they made me an old-fashioned out of it. It was one of the best damn drinks I've ever had in my life.
It was so good. It was like a cooler or a fresher. I think it had cucumber in it or something. Like it was really, really delicious in soda water.
Right. And Jay had one, which means he's a liar about Deep Eddy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So,
I got a little tipsy off that.
Oh.
It hit me hard.
Oh, yeah. Right. I mean, I was stumbling and bumbling when we left there. But the next thing we did, we said, okay, we're going to go to Lukenbach, Texas.
Yes.
Because,
We're
Waylon
gonna go
Jennings.
we're going to go to Fat Ass Winery, too.
Well, eventually.
Yeah.
But Lukenbach was our first stop because Waylon Jennings sang a song about Lukenbach, Texas back in the day. And we're like, fuck it, we're close. We're going to go to Lukenbach just to say we've been there. So we drove to Lukenbach, and let me tell you what's in Lukenbach. Nothing.
No.
Ain't shit in Lukenbach.
It was a pretty
Texas.
drive.
It was pretty. But before we got to Lukenbach, we're driving down, I think it was 290.
I have no idea.
So we're driving down 290, and we see a castle, like in
Literally.
the middle of nowhere.
Like nothing for miles. Hill castle.
So I turn around to Angie, and I'm like, Angie, that was a fucking castle. And she's like, yeah.
Fuck
I'm
it,
like,
let's go.
Are there castles in Texas normally? We should stop and see why they have a castle.
Yeah.
So we turned around and went back, and turns out it was a winery, which is really cool because if it was somebody's house, I think that would have been a problem.
Yeah, I think in discussing the trip before we got there, like Angie and I were both like wineries. Like we definitely have to do the wineries the whole way there. And it is your birthday. So
Yeah, fuck him. We're going to go to wineries.
And Mickey really doesn't do wine.
Not really.
But
I like bourbon. But
I
anyway.
was so glad we got to fit one in because it was amazing. Legitimate fucking castle with its own moat.
Okay, so this is the castle. It's the 290 winery at the castle. If you ever want to check it out, it's the 290 winery. And here's what happens. They have a moat. And it literally like this stream that runs around the whole thing, and it's on a hill. So Ed Sheeran, eat your heart out, brother. There is a castle on a hill in kind of near Fredericksburg, kind of
Between
near Austin.
Lukenbach and Fredericksburg, I have no idea.
Nowhere, Texas. There's this castle on a hill, and it's a winery. We walk in, and they greet us like we're old friends.
So nice. And yeah, very warm, welcoming. I love that the bar area was in the center of the castle.
Yeah, they had cake.
They had cake because it was their birthday too.
It was their birthday.
It was their birthday
They had
too.
cake.
I was like, this is meant to be.
It is. And so we went up to the bar and we start talking to Robert. And Robert is our wine tender. And Robert, as it turns out, had his first lifestyle experience the weekend before. Now, why we started talking about the lifestyle to our wine tender, I can't tell you, but we did.
Yeah.
And it turns out he has now listened to the show. So, Robert, if you are listening, we had a great time with you, man. And thank you for helping make my birthday special. It was really cool.
Mad props, sir.
And by the way, send us a message because I know you know how to get a hold of us and tell me what that wine was that I had because it was really good.
Yeah, the liquid sugar.
It wasn't quite liquid sugar. I didn't do the liquid sugar one. I did the next step backward.
Gotcha.
But still, this winery had an upper level that had kind of like, again, looking down on the center bar area. And then you could go downstairs into a dungeon.
Yeah. Another dungeon. Second dungeon on our fucking trip.
Right. And then they had those turret rooms up at the top on the roof.
Oh, yeah. Right. If Robert wasn't convinced we were all swingers, this is what Cedar like, oh, yeah, we could totally get like a fucking orgy on down in here.
We did that in the turret room, too.
The purple carpet.
They're like, we can fuck here, too. We can fuck here. We can fuck there. And then somebody started taking dirty pictures with the giant teddy bear. That was Angie.
Yeah.
So, and it just, I mean, that's the thing. We just got into all this crazy stuff, but spooky shit all over this castle. It was really, really crazy. And I think we left there. We went to Lukenbach. There was a biker rally in Lukenbach.
Yeah. Yeah. Jay's like, and we're turning around.
Yeah, Jay's like, we're not going there.
Exit, stage left.
So we left Lukenbach and went on to Fredericksburg. It turns out in Fredericksburg, there's like wine stuff going on all over the place. And there is a Mexican restaurant. And we're like, hey, we're in Texas. We should eat Mexican food. So we go to this Mexican place. And the only thing on the menu I see that makes me giggle is flaming cheese.
See, cheese.
See. So I loudly proclaim in the middle of the restaurant, hey, that's an STD in the rest of the country.
Oh, man, you're so silly. Yeah, and then you had to take pictures of the couple that ended up getting it next to us.
Well, yeah, the couple next to us ordered it. So I said, hey, can I take a picture of your STD? And they're like, what?
Yeah. Way to go. Making friends everywhere you go. So we ended up going to, it was called the Backyard Amphitheater.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool venue.
Actual reason we were in Texas.
Yeah, middle of nowhere, but so pretty. They had the large Edison bulb lights that hung from like the telephone poles. And just, I don't know. I was in awe of the venue. It was a great show. We met some great people. We picked a table that ended up being amazing.
Yeah.
We had a Stroh's fan couple across from us, a newly together couple next to us, and then Mr. Scotty.
Yeah. So this place, when you walk in, like, and maybe this is common in Texas, so maybe some of our Texas listeners can let us know, but you walk into this place and it's wide open. Like most amphitheaters where I come from have a lot of seats. This place had no seats.
Nope.
It had a standing room only section. It had a bar area. It had a big concrete area. And then it had picnic tables. And then it had a space where you could set up your lawn chairs. Now, the thing that I thought that was really interesting about it is it looked like it was like containers stacked up, kind of like Container Bar.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. And what I found out later was that all this concrete, this open area, was for dancing.
Yes. Oh, I love that about Texas.
But we grabbed a picnic table and we went up to that new couple and we were like, hey guys, you mind if we share this picnic table with you? And they're like, nah, hell yeah, come on up. And we sat down, and then sooner or later his boss showed up, and his boss was an old cowboy by the name of Scotty. And Scotty looked across at us at one point and said, I'm going to drink about it tonight. And drinking about it is a Wade Bowen line from a song called Saturday Night. Mm-hmm. And he said, I'm going to drink about it tonight. And I'm like, well, I'm going to drink about it with you. What are we drinking about? And he goes, well, my wife moved out today. And I looked at him because I'm an asshole and said, congratulations. And he said, yeah, wah. That joke went over like a fart in church. He said, no, I'm really unhappy about it, actually. And I said, Scotty, I'm really sorry. But I hope that we can give you a reason to celebrate tonight. Let's try and have some fun. Yeah. And that dude hung out with us all night long.
Took me all night long to convince him to dance with me because he did not want to disrespect you whatsoever.
That's right.
And I thought that was so sweet of him.
He's such a cowboy and so chivalrous.
Such a cowboy.
Yeah.
And I wanted to dance so bad. Angie's like, fuck it, let's do it. I got the two-step with Angie.
And Angie two-stepped with Mallory. And then Scotty finally said, are you sure you're cool if I dance with your wife? I'm like, brother, if you only knew. So go right ahead. And they two-stepped all over the place. And
you two-stepped with me too.
Learned how to two-step.
Yes, Andrew taught you.
Angie
Even
taught
Scotty
me.
got it on. I was like, all right, man, I'm going to show you. You did so well. I'm so proud of you. I knew you don't like dancing.
No.
So proud of you.
I don't like it a lick, but it was super cool. And, you know, we had a ride back, and I think we listened to awful cover songs all the way back.
That's right. I forgot.
But hang on. Before we get to that, I do want to throw a shout out. Wade Bowen, if for some reason you're listening to this show because you did retweet us and you did a shout out at the end of your show to us.
He told you. I think I am 99% sure he said happy birthday, Mickey.
I know he did. I heard him. The very last thing he said before he left that stage, he said, hey, Mickey, happy birthday. And that was just super cool. Dude, that made my life right there. That was awesome.
Best day ever, right?
Yeah, it was best 2 days ever. It was just out of this world. And we got back in that truck and started singing bad cover songs all the way back to Austin, which is about an hour and 30 minutes. It's 80 some odd miles through the middle of Texas.
Yeah, the ride home was a little bit of a blur for me.
I bet it was. You were hammered.
I was not hammered, but I didn't feel any pain.
Whatever. Your eyeballs were again going boogity boogity boogity.
No, they were not. I was just really tired. We had an eventful day.
We did. But what did we learn? We learned that, too drunk to fuck Mallory will show up 2 days in a row if we try. And that Jay and Angie are some of the nicest people on the planet that will show us their entire state and then get up at like the butt crack of dawn and take us to the airport.
Like, I'm getting teary-eyed again.
But with Angie's big titties, we decided to call it Boober. Angie's our Boober driver.
I can't. I'm leaking.
She is.
Laughing.
Mallory is literally over here crying right now, guys.
But I'm also laughing.
We miss the shit out of you guys. And I will tell you from the bottom of my cold black heart, I don't know anyone better than Jay and Angie from the Average Swingers.
Well,
if
from
you don't
my
listen to
bottom,
them,
I love them too.
Oh, from the bottom of Mallory's bottom.
They're awesome.
If you can listen to them, you should. If you haven't, I don't know what's wrong with you. If you don't like them, unfollow us because they're amazing.
They're some of the best people we've met.
And at some point, we need to host these guys in Orlando. We really need to.
I think I'm going to beg until they give in.
We'll buy their ticket.
Yes.
Like, it's that good. So, guys.
We'll figure it out.
That kind of sums up.
Yeah. I got to give them a recipe here after we come back from
That's
our break.
right, because we're doing Cocktail Corner today, and it's so much cock that Mallory's going to do it today. So we have a recipe that we call the Casual Swinger Insider.
Yes. This is something near and dear to my heart, and I'm going to try to do it justice.
Do it justice. So you're going to get the background on what it means to be insider when we come back here in just a minute. But hey, Mal, you want to just remind everybody why it's so important to say nice things about us in public?
Yes. If you guys love us, we'd really appreciate an iTunes review. This gives us a little additional exposure to, other people out there that might enjoy listening to our show. And it also makes me feel really good about myself. And I love my affirmations. So we're Casual Swinger everywhere. That's SLS, SDC, Cassidy, Double Date Nation, and Quiver. You can find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Want to shoot us a message? That's podcast@Casual Swinger. And if you want to look us up, it's casualswinger.com.
So quick, so easy. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Casual Swinger. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome back to Casual Swinger. Mallory here.
I'm just going to be silent because I'm Mickey.
And we're bringing you a episode of Cocktail Corner.
Cocktail Corner.
And I'm taking over this episode.
You take over the cock. You're better with it.
Yeah, we have a very special recipe for you that's near and dear to our hearts. We're going to call this the Casual Swinger Insider.
I love being insider.
So this is a hot beverage recipe. History behind it is when we lived in Mid-Atlantic, Virginia. Yeah, Virginia. We used to host a Halloween cider station.
Oh, yeah.
So Halloween in our neighborhood, threw the fuck down. We'd have 600 to 800 trick-or-treaters every year. Mm-hmm. You got mom and dad, brothers and sisters, families roaming the streets in huge packs. And a lot of years it was cold, so we had this brilliant idea to offer hot cider. Well, we also had a brilliant idea to top that even further, is to give them a spiked or premium leaded version.
Right. We had leaded and unleaded stations.
Yeah. To the point, I believe we were buying somewhere between 20 and 22 gallons of cider plus liquor. We were heating the cider in the turkey deep fryer vats. Mm-hmm. And we needed, I think, no less than 8 to 12 people to help us in the background between passing out candy and cider. And people loved it. They got into it.
Like, we had a huge Halloween thing.
Huge. And it was so much fun. But it is also a delicious recipe. It's a little harder to do it down here this time of year because it's still so warm. Right. So you can do it on the cool side. I prefer it warm or hot. And you can carry this through and make it, for your Thanksgiving get-together as well.
Just know that you're insider when they're drinking it.
Yeah. You like being inside her.
Every chance I get.
Yes. So, hope I can explain this correctly and everyone can follow along. I lost my place.
How? However, could you do such a thing?
Because my phone went to sleep. I had to write it down because I wanted to remember it correctly. So the insider recipe is as follows. You're going to want to purchase some, in my humble opinion, grocery store pre-made apple cider. What is it? Musselman's? Musselman's. The ones that make
up
the
north. But
apple cider. Yeah.
In every different part of the country, you're going to get different apple cider. But good natural apple cider.
Yes.
Not apple juice.
Correct.
Apple cider.
Correct.
Otherwise, it won't be in cider. It'll be in juice.
Correct. And you are going to pre-mix your alcohol. So that's going to be 2 parts apple brandy.
Applejack, preferably.
Mm-hmm. Applejack is good. It can be a little expensive. It's jumped like $8 a bottle, but it's very good. So 2 parts apple brandy, 2 parts cinnamon. Now this can be, and these are my preferences because I like a little higher proof and a little stronger cinnamon flavor. You can do 99 liqueur or Fireball whiskey. And then 1 part honey liqueur or my personal preference, honey whiskey. So that's 2 parts apple brandy, 2 parts cinnamon, 1 part honey. And I make these by the gallon. So if I had to break it down, that's going to be 1 ounce brandy, 1 ounce cinnamon, 1/2 ounce honey to every 5 ounces of cider. I think that's a nice balance. I prefer it a little stronger, so I might do a little less cider. But that's a great flavor profile at those ratios. Mm-hmm. Ratios?
How much have you had to drink? Right.
I'm still sick.
So when she says that we pre-make this, so she pre-makes the mix and then pours it back in the apple brandy bottles. So what you have is this red bottle of liquor, because it kind of looks red when it's done. And then she pours it, like we'll actually pour it in the bottom of cups and then pour the cider in. So that way you don't actually put the cider in when you heat it.
Yeah.
Or rather, you don't put the liquor in the cider when you heat it.
Correct.
The cider is heated without the alcohol. You add the alcohol before you drink it.
Correct.
Got it. Okay, so that's important.
So you pre-mix all the alcohol together, and if you're doing this on, a glass to glass ratio, you can just use your measuring cup. If you're going to do it in, multiple gallons, so you're going to preheat the cider and have it, in a vat or at a little serving station for a party, and then add the liquor later. That way, the kids and the family can have it unleaded. I would use pitchers to mix it in and then pour it back in the bottles. So you have it pre-mixed, ready to go, ready to add to the hot cider.
There you go. And it keeps longer, too, because that way you can, because liquor's expensive.
Yes.
So you can keep the liquor out of it.
Yes, and I've actually used that pre-mixed bottle to make anything from pies to sauces.
That's how you've kept me all these years, is I've been hammered.
Syrups.
Here, have some pie. Okay,
yeah.
lady.
Syrups and stuff, yeah. It's a really great flavor, and it's perfect for fall between, the apple, cinnamon, and that little taste of honey there. So good.
Delicious.
All right. How did I do?
I think you did pretty good.
I'm a mess. I'm very bad at giving directions. I can follow directions, but giving directions, woof.
Whatever. You gave me directions this morning. You were like, do that. Okay.
Yeah, right there. Just like that. Don't stop.
So, guys, that was Cider. That's Casual Swingers' original recipe for a hot cider that we use on Halloween. If you're in a colder part of the country, you are going to have a hit on your hands, folks. Now, I know Halloween parties were last weekend for the most part, but I think, if you guys sit out there and, if you're sitting in front of your garage and giving out candy, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, your little, small fire out in the back garage. Back garage.
Don't start fires in your garage. Mallory's retarded today. Maybe you should start the fires outside.
Maybe I should go drink because I'm so sober right now.
Oh, yes. Let's drink about it. If you haven't been keeping up for this whole episode, check out Wade Bowen Music. That's at Wade Bowen on Twitter. That dude is awesome. He sings a lot of great songs that make us happy. And, of course, we had a great time with Jay and Angie down there in Texas.
I'm going to bet everyone that listens to us knows and loves Average Swingers as well. And if you haven't and don't, please go check them out.
Yeah, super cool. But this has been a lot of fun. We just kind of been sitting here shooting the shit for the last, hour.
I know. It's wonderful. We thank you all for listening to us.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I'm sorry for my shenanigans today.
Oh, I like your shenanigans.
I missed my mark.
Hey, I'm leaving town, so you got to do some shenanigans.
Maybe. I'm not quite at 100% health just yet.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
All right. We'll see how that goes. All right. Say bye to everybody. We're going to get out of here.
Bye, everybody.
That's it. Everybody, we're Casually Yours. You've been listening to Casually Swing. Really?
It's contagious.
You've just made me dumber. Y'all been listening to Casual Swinger. We'll see you soon.